Another commentary channel. What is it about conspiracy theories that makes some people so riled up and certain that bad actors behind the scenes are pulling the strings? Well, today we're going to look at a list of conspiracy theories that turned conspiracy facts. The first conspiracy truth is the Dead Baby Project. That's actually what the title of this says. After the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the United States government started something called Project Sunshine. Now, the goal of this project was to study the effects of radiation on the human body. A lot of people back then were skeptical that they were just taking dead bodies and doing these experiments on them. The government's only defense is that they were only taking body parts 100%. This one's true. They were taking dead bodies for the use of nuclear radiation exposure experiments. During Prohibition, the United States government was poisoning the alcohol supply. In 1926, manufacturers of industrial alcohol were already pretty unscrupulous. They were essentially selling poison to begin with. The government just said, hey, instead of slowly making people feel worse, why don't we just change it to like 40% ethanol by weight? And people just started dying. More than 10,000 American citizens died because of this booze fiasco the federal government harpooned into the American people. That lasted between 1926 to 1933. Insane. So it turns out the federal government was poisoning the alcohol in an attempt to deter bootleggers. See, when I imagine moonshine, I imagine some guy that has cut down a cedar tree and 100 apples or something. I don't know, what is that triple X shit? Is that just like reconstituted alcohol? They like redistill alcohol again? What am I saying? Of course. Who would drink moonshine? Apparently 10,000 people. Way more than that. The conspiracy? Woodrow Wilson's wife, try saying that 10 times fast, basically ran the presidency after he had a stroke. Saying the conspiracy theory first really does give it away because, of course, this is a list of conspiracy theories that have been proven to be true. Woodrow Wilson's wife ran the presidency. That's exactly what happened. And they even admit it because she's referred to as a steward. She's a steward of her husband. Dance on my strings, Woodrow. This one's real. They're all real. This whole list is real ones. God, I couldn't spice it up at all. This one's very real. MKULTRA. It's just government mind control. Has the government tried to mind control you? Yes. Yes, they have. It's MKUltra, baby. Back in town. MKUltra is a fact. Hey, we want to mind control people? I'm wearing this to fit in more for this topic. Do I really need it? I don't know. So initially, MKUltra started with volunteers. They would dose volunteers with LSD and then observe what happened to them. But then it did branch out into dosing people that did not know they were being dosed. Insane and criminal and terrible. That's actually kind of dangerous. One story I've heard from MKUltra is like this physicist that they dosed and he jumped out of a building. I mean, man, terrible. US government confirmed. Bam. They have done mind control stuff. Okay, so the next conspiracy theory that's true that you probably didn't know is true is that the Dalai Lama is a CIA asset. That's right. The Dalai Lama is a CIA asset. I will say that one more time for you. The Dalai Lama, the religious figure, I believe from Tibet, is an asset of the intelligence wing of the United States government. The Dalai Lama is paid by the CIA. This is true. This is real. He gets paid like 180 grand a year on paper. Who knows what he's actually making through his backdoor prayers and stuff? Who knows? There's this couch at a business in Summerland, California. Super bougie zip code. And this couch is fenced off because the Dalai Lama sat in the couch. So apparently he was being paid 180 grand-ish in the 1960s, which is a lot more than 180 grand now. But I don't know, is that... we're not saying that the Dalai Lama is evil. I don't think... is he? I don't think he is. But if he's a CIA asset, maybe he could just be like a media figurehead, right? What is the Dalai Lama? What does he do? He has always been suspicious. The next conspiracy theory that turned out to be true is that John Lennon was under surveillance from the government, and it's because he was a counterculture personality. So this is a fact. Okay, we're moving on because I have been talking. Listen, we're 10 minutes into the uncut version of this, and I've only been to 3, I think. Okay, the next one is that the government is spying on you. They're spying on you right now, and me. You can't even spy on someone that's broadcasting themselves. Tell me otherwise. So it's a fact. The NSA is spying on you. What am I trying to get demonetized? I think it's very situational, probably, though. I feel like you probably need to, like, trigger something. I don't know. Listen, don't do anything super illegal. There you go. Best advice. They're probably looking at everything you do, but I would assume that it all gets entered into a database with levels of severity. Imagine if you had data on 300 million people at once, dude. What, are you going to be able to manually review that? What do you think, Joe Biden's looking at your Amazon wish list? Come on, dude. It's true that they are surveilling you, but I don't think it's as bad as it sounds yet. Now, if it turns into like a Skynet thing, that would be terrible. That would be awful. Is it already? I can't believe they would include this piece of, it doesn't belong in a informative list about conspiracies that turned out to be true. Listen, everybody knows big tobacco knew cigarettes cause cancer. That's like, you really think come on, dude. Come on. Do better, Reader's Digest. I cannot believe that this popped up. Who doesn't know that? Who seriously doesn't know that? That's the conspiracy theory. Did big tobacco know that cigarettes caused cancer? I literally learned that information in like 3rd grade because of those buses that had graphic images on the inside. Right? Hated that. Here's another conspiracy theory that turned out to be true. The Vietnam War was entered into under false pretenses because of a staged event or something that just didn't happen, called the Gulf of Tonkin. It was fake and then went to war with a country like 1% of our size. They got grenaded. Free to look that up. They did not have a chance. I don't know anything about the Vietnam War, really, except that it was entered into under false pretenses. We had no reason to go to war with Vietnam. That's what it says, dude. This wouldn't be on here if it wasn't true. It's Reader's Digest. It's very mainstream, okay? They would never lie to you. They would never say anything that's not true. So they are the objective beacon of truth in the universe. Thank you. Another conspiracy theory that turned out to be true. Did Canada ever try to develop a gaydar? Have you ever sat there and thought that to yourself? If you had a sneaking suspicion that Canada was developing a gaydar, well, you were right on the money, because Canada developed a gaydar, and it was a machine that you had to sit in front of, and it would analyze your iris when you look at erotic material, as they put it. So they developed a gaydar, and it's unclear why. I don't think there's any defensible reason that you could tell me as to why a gaydar is needed. I just don't think that I could ever see it that way. So it turns out Canada developed this to detect homosexuality in federal employees. I didn't know we needed that. Why, Canada? They fired 400 people because of this, like, newfangled technology. I don't know. The Canadian gaydar was camera equipment from the 1960s that claimed that if your pupil dilated when you watch certain erotic materials, that you're gay. I could see how, like a polygraph, there's probably a bell curve to the truth in that, but that can't be objective information that you're getting, dude. Maybe some people's pupils dilate because they're like, you can't, I don't know, dude. Everybody reacts differently. The Canadian gaydar one, I'm really not looking forward to editing. Yeah, dude, there's the thumbnail right there. Dude, I like this new look.